was I to know when I first met you? Peace and grace. Good evening, everyone. Rochelle Wilson. Thank you for joining me for another edition of Make Some Intelligent Noise here at WYVT, your voice talk, community talk radio. So glad that you could tune in. So glad that you could be a part of tonight's lessons and information. I pray that you will like this video. I always try to gear my videos and my conversation to be informative, to raise the conscious awareness of the people so that you can make better, more informed decisions. So I'm Rochelle Wilson here at WYVT with my friend and I guess co-host Jan Dennis. Hey Jan, how you doing?
Hello there, Michelle.
I'm all right. Woo, remember this?
Huh?
How many folks out there remember this song by the Whispers? Yeah. That's pretty good. All right, we're going to shut that down a little bit. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. By the Whispers. Yes, yes. I only meant just to wet my feet, but you pulled me all the way in, honey. So if you remember that song, let's get a thumbs up. Somebody give me a thumbs up, a like. If you remember that song or if you like that kind of groove, that's my kind of groove. So as I stated, thank you so much for joining me once again at WYVT for another edition of Make Some Intelligent Noise. Obviously, we've been inundated with news media, even fear-mongering from the news media about the COVID-19 virus, also known as the coronavirus. You know, I've heard so much about it that it's just got me spinning around and around. How about you, Jan? What's happening in your neck of the woods?
I don't like it. But it's real. You can't discount it. It's here. And you got to be smart and intelligent about not making sure that you don't get it and share it and spread it with other people.
What I've been doing is staying a little bit closer to the house. Yeah. I'm not taking as many social activities. I'm not going out and hanging out with my friends like I like to. Instead, we're talking over the phone and doing all of that kind of thing. And even when I do see people that I appreciate, I can't hug you. I can't embrace you. I'm not touching you. And I really prefer them not to touch me. So it's like, I'm doing elbows all day. Hey, how you doing? But, we're just inundated with it. So at last report I heard, was it Tom Hanks and his wife? What's going on with that? Did you hear that report? Tom Hanks and his wife have been diagnosed or tested for the coronavirus, the COVID-19. And one of the things that I have to say, and perhaps Jan will agree with me on this, is that it is spreading quickly. It is spreading quickly. We all need to recognize that this is happening. Now, there's a lot of conspiracy theorists out there, and some of them make sense, and some of them, are just conspiracy theorists. Some folks are saying that the bat bit the dog, and then some folks over across the water ate the dog. Some other folks are saying it was the bat that bit the monkey, and the people ate the monkey, and then the people, and it transmuted and transfigured and adapted itself. Listen, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't know what it is, how it got here, or the sole purpose of it being here. But I do know that at this point, it is it is regulating population control. Okay, because folks are getting on up out of here, and there is no cure for it. I mean, when I think about the bubonic plague, that was a single flea, a flea that bit a black rat. That rat then transmuted that to humans, or I'm sorry, the flea then bit the humans. So, it's pretty awful. It's pretty disgusting. And I feel really bad about that. But that ended up from one single flea. 300 million people died as a result of the bubonic plague. And, it spread quickly, it spread very fast, and it needs human hosts. So stay, I'm not saying self-quarantine yourself. I do think it's a great idea. That's my personal choice. I'm not accepting as many out social and public events that I would normally be going to cover. I mean, lots of stuff is going on, especially with the weather breaking, and I would like to be at these places, but I have to protect myself. And so I'm self-quarantining because that's my choice. And I strongly suggest that people out there, did I bring it in? I'm doing my sanitizer, my hand sanitizer. I keep it with me everywhere I go, everything I touch. I may even start doing gloves if it really gets, to that level or to that stage. I'm not embarrassed to put on my gloves. People are coughing. They're not washing their hands. You must wash your hands. You must use your hand sanitizer. Stay, more inside as much as you can, especially our elders, our seniors, and our small little baby children, because their immune systems are not quite fully developed, or either have, as an elder, I have a elder man. He's 97 years old. We call him Old Ralph, kiddo. And I'm being very mindful of him because his immune system is not what it would have been if he were only 37, 47, or 57. He's 97 years old. And this is a man that has been my friend, and I was his caretaker for many, many years. I took care of Old Ralph. So we have to watch out for our elders. We must protect our little teeny babies. So come on, folks, let's try to stop this. In order for this virus to spread, it must have a human host. Let's not give it what it needs in order to spread. This way, it will die. It will starve because it has no human contact. One of the things I'm doing, can I see that, Jan, please, what I brought you? Thank you. I'm making my little concoction. You want to keep your vitamin C levels up. You want to keep your immune system up. I'm not trying to make a commercial, but this is something called Emergency. It's a little packet of 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C super orange. And what I'm doing is, in any bottle, this just happens to be a tea bottle, but I am taking most part water, adding my vitamin C, adding honey, also adding red pepper. Red pepper is an amazing agent that does wonderful things for cleaning out your liver and your kidneys and things of that nature. We all know that water within itself is a cleansing, a detoxifier to our body. So, and honey is a natural antioxidant. It's a natural antibacterial agent. So honey has all sorts of medicinal properties, and it gives you natural energy. So you want to focus on your honeys. That's very important. So anyway, I make this little concoction. I just put it in a bottle, water, honey, a little dash of red pepper for my liver and kidneys, and then I add my 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. And when I do that and I kind of shake it up and drink it, there you go. I've given my body pretty much all it really needs, other than my turmeric, in order to sustain itself and to stay healthy, viable, and full of energy and good life. So here you go. I brought that one for Jan. I have one, and I brought that one for Jan. Once he tries it, if he likes it, I'm going to bring him another one. So, so we're inundated with the coronavirus, the COVID-19 virus, also known as coronavirus. I would not yet liken it unto the bubonic plague. I won't say it is at that warp speed yet, but what I will say is that it is spreading quickly, and the only way it can spread is with human hosts. So stay home, call in, do your work from home. I know people can work from home. We live in a day of modern technology. We can do everything from home. We don't have to go out. We don't have to do those kind of things. We can definitely do those things in the comfort of our home and pretty much kill the virus. We will kill COVID-19 if we don't give it a human host. That's all we have to do. It incubates for 21 days. So if you kind of stay to yourself, make sure you're healthy, you're doing what you need to do with your vitamins and your turmerics, your honeys and things like that, your green leafy vegetables, and just kind of self-quarantine. It will die. I promise you, it will die. It has no way to live without us humans. So let's not give it what it needs. And I don't want to continue to sound redundant. I just really emphasize the message. Folks, this is serious. This is serious. Okay. And everybody has a different conspiracy theory of how it got here, why it's here, who's being the highest affected by it, and who seems to have a natural immune to it. I'm not going to get into all of those conspiracy theorists. I feel that it does not know boundaries of race, of color. It doesn't care if you're black or you're white or you're brown or golden. It doesn't care if you're rich or you're poor. It doesn't care if you're a politician or, a homeless person living on the street. It does not care. It will get any human that will allow it into its body. So don't touch your face. Maybe you want to put gloves on if you can't remember to do your hand sanitizer. You got to protect yourself. And when I see you, just know that I love you. I adore you, but I am not hugging you. Okay? We can elbow each other all day and it's all good, Well, I don't know. I might give Jordan Hines a hug because that's my people. He's a good man. He's a really good human being, and I like him a lot. I have nothing bad to say about him. And when I see him, his smile and his energy is so exuberant and so positive in my company that it kind of inspires you to give him a hug or to give him an embrace. So he would be the exception to that. So moving right along, I want to say that I don't care for Trump's behavior in all of this. I don't think that he is being a leader. A true leader is a person that genuinely cares about the people that it is leading. And if you don't care about the people that voted you and elected you into a place of position, to me that strips you of your leadership. And so I'm not very fond of Trump's behavior and his response to the virus at this time. I really can say I do not support Trump, President Donald Trump. I do not support his response to the coronavirus, COVID-19. So I will say that here I live, or I reside, I walk upon the territory of a place called Wilmington, Delaware. That is the territory that I reside in. And here in that state of Delaware, I would say that as I looked around, school buses were dropping kids off, early, like really early. So I think schools are, kind of shutting the doors down. I haven't gotten a report. If there's anyone out there who works in the school system, please let me know. I mean, trust me, I know Maureen Whelan. I can certainly reach out to her myself. But, schools may be closing down. People are working from home. And I think that's a positive way to go. So the one thing I think is very important that I mention, and that is to say that no visits at the prisons. The prisons are closing down the opportunity to visit your loved ones in order to protect them. And as much as I could argue about that and rant and rave and maybe complain, actually, I'm not mad at that. I actually think that is smart, that is intelligent, and that is protective. You are protecting the people inside the prison as well as protecting the people who are outside of the prison coming in. So at this time, I think they said for 14 days, there will be no visits at any of the state prisons here in the territory of Delaware. Smyrna, Delaware, James T. Vaughn, Women's Baylor Correctional Facility. So here in Delaware, I think at this point, based on the information that I've been receiving, we are being responsible, responding appropriately to the COVID-19 pandemic. And if it is indeed yet that we can even call it a pandemic, perhaps it's on its way to be that if we continue to give it human hosts to feed it. So if we stop feeding it humans to breed off of, then perhaps, yes, it will just go away and we'll be fine. So I think that Delaware, as far as I know, it is being responsible. It is being accountable to its citizens by making sure that things are quieted down. I know it hurts financially. It's Thursday and it's ladies' night, and this would be a time to go for happy hour and catch up with some friends and have a refreshing adult cocktail. But it's just too much public interaction. So I rode past a couple of places. One of my favorite spots in Delaware is the Deco, and it looked like it was ghost town. At that time that I rode by, it looked like it was ghost town. Perhaps by now it's 7:15, 7:30, something like that. Perhaps by now there are actually some people actually having those happy hour cocktails, but something in my intuition says probably not. Not if they're smart. They're probably not doing that. So the thing that really comes to my mind when I think of the COVID-19 and perhaps Mother Nature's way of population control, because certainly, it can be selective. Mother Nature, she's a woman and is feminine. She's the divine feminine, and she can certainly do that. She can be selective in her population control. And there are a significant amount of people that are affected by it. And yet it seems like it is targeted to a particular group of people who have a lower melanin count than those who have a higher count of melatonin in their bodies. So I don't know if that's just another conspiracy theory, but when I watch and I see who has been victim to this COVID-19, it definitely leaves one to think that the antibodies may be found, perhaps, just a thought, another theory, perhaps the antibodies to the COVID-19 may be found in melanin, folks with melanin. There may be something in the genes that can actually help to help shut this down. I don't know. Again, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just thinking out loud. That's the bubble on top of my head, and I just allow myself to come all the way out with it. But here's the interesting point. If indeed we continue to give it human host in order to feed and infect us as humans and do what it's doing, if we continue to do that, and this does become indeed a real pandemic, if we find ourselves in a situation where I just don't even want to think the worst, and I'm not really big on the whole Armageddon theory, but if you can't get to the supermarket, if they declare martial law, I think that's what I'm trying to really get to. If they could declare martial law and the National Guard has to come in and now monitor our movements and demanding that we stay indoors in the house and not come outside to go to work or to go to the supermarket, then that means when our baby milk runs out, we need to up that supply. If there's nothing at the supermarket, or if there is, or you can't leave the house, what are you going to do to feed the babies? How are you going to get the medicine necessary to give grandmom and grandpop, okay, if you can't go to the drugstore because we're under martial law? Remember, the Bill of Rights will be suspended or is suspended anytime that martial law is declared. And if America declares martial law, your natural rights will be suspended. They say this is for the rights of all of us, for the protection of all of us. Like, I get the theory behind martial law, and I comprehend the concept. And I'm not saying it's a bad concept. It's probably actually a pretty decent concept to protect all of the people, right? But what happens if you disobey martial law and you decide that you want to go and try to find some baby milk or Pampers or diapers for grandmom and grandpop? or whatever your case may be. You need to get food and nourishment. And maybe there is none at the supermarkets. So now people are willing to go into other people's homes and take it. But do you really want to go in someone else's house if it became that sort of a pandemic? Like, would you really want to go in someone else's house and steal their food? You don't know if they perhaps have the COVID-19, right? If you're the person inside the house and the neighbor knocks on the door saying, hey, I ran out of bottled water. Can I have some bottled water? Is it okay to give them a bottle of bottled water? Can you catch it by handing them a bottle of bottled water? You know, these are the kinds of things that are in the bubble in my head, not because I'm paranoid. You know, I have I'm very strong-willed person, so I'm not paranoid and I'm not fear-mongering, and I'm really not afraid. I'm mindful, but I'm not afraid. And there's a difference between the two. But these are the things in the bubble on my head that I have to ask, and that I'm posing that question now to all of the listeners who are tuning in. I have to ask you, if this does become a pandemic, and because we continue to feed it human bodies, going to the supermarket, going to the airport, there's a man in Georgia who is under doctor's care. He got it by being at church. He was in the church. And he got it. Okay. So if this becomes that type of a situation and they actually declare martial law and suspend our Bill of Rights, our natural rights to come and go and travel and move and live and breathe, then what's going to happen when you decide you're going to disobey martial law to go and get some food for the babies at home or grandpop at home, or the wife, or whoever, the husband. And now, you know, the National Guard is outside with loudspeakers saying, do not come out of your house. If you do, you will be shot. Are you going to risk it? Do you think they're playing like just a game with you? When they declare martial law and suspend your Bill of Rights, they are not playing a game. The National Guard will come and they will follow their orders. Their orders are to shoot, to stop anyone from coming out of the quarantine. And this is just historical information. I am not making any predictions. I am not a prophetess. I am not a, clairvoyant, I'm none of those things that I know of. I am an empath and I can feel. And that's one of the things that, one of the gifts that I have that sometimes feels like a curse. But yes, I can feel what other people feel. But just in the spirit of asking intelligent questions, is it okay that I ask you these intelligent questions? What are you going to do if martial law says you better not come out of your house? I don't give a rat's kahunas what the reason or the purpose is. Are you willing to be shot to come out to get the baby's milk? To walk the dog? What are you going to do with the dog if you live in an apartment and you're under quarantine? Let the dog go poopies in the hall? Hey, listen, it may sound like I'm just being a bit over the top, and I pray that that's all it is, that I'm just being dramatic and over the top with all of this. But these are the questions that sit on the bubble in my brain as I think about futuristically, what if? Would I be willing to get shot, to get out of the house, to come here and do the radio show? You damn right I would. To be here with you on Facebook and here at WYVT, I would absolutely risk being shot.
But then you would have to say, well, Jan, are you willing to allow me to come in? And I might say, no.
That's true. I would hate to come out and maybe get shot for it, and then you don't even let me in. Like that's terrible. That's just terrible. But anyway, I just pray everyone out there is being safe and that you are being mindful and giving quite a bit of thought to your health and the health of the rest of us here in America by just taking the necessary precautions to protect yourself and others. Okay, so let's move on to the next. Where are we on time? I'm trying to do better on time. I started on time today at 7 o'clock. I had everything ready. And so
7:24.
It's 7:24. Perfect. So I have a few minutes. So that leads me to something that I was reading. You know, many people are coming to the truth and the understanding that these lands originally were the lands of the native indigenous Americans, the Moorish people. We call them Indians. They weren't Indians. They were Native Americans. Okay. It's just a matter of semantics in your language. And I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. What I want to talk about is if you don't have some kind of a nationality, if you're English, if you're British, if you're, American, you're Italian, you're Jamaican, you're Moor, whatever you are, if you don't have a nationality, you have no right, no claims to the land. And the land is the power. It's the power. It's the money. Do you realize that there's 3% that rules the other 7%? Did you know that? That 3% are the wealthiest, most just ugly money. Just money. They can wipe their butts with money when they use the bathroom. That's the kind of money they have. And true wealth, obviously, I've already said to you, is in silver and gold. So that's real wealth. Please hear me clearly. Do not put your faith in the paper money, because paper money is about as much as this paper book. I can take it and take this and go get gas in my car with this paper that I'm writing on. That's about the value of paper money. But here's the thing. It's the value that you put on it, which takes me to something immediately. I think is something called accepted for value. It's the value that you put on it that makes it actually valuable. So that's kind of the concept of paper money today. The value that you put on it is what actually makes it valuable. So if folks are willing to go out and hurt each other for a $5 or $10 or $15 or $20 bill, you will hurt somebody, really terribly hurt them, even maybe take their life for a piece of paper that has the number 2 and 0 on it, and we know it as a $20 bill. You're saying that person's life was not even worth that $20 piece of paper, which really today is, how much is that, Jan? I'd say that's really about $7.
What, $20?
A $20 bill.
Probably, yeah. About
$7. About 7 actual promissory notes. But if you don't have a nationality,
case of beer.
If you don't have a nationality and you don't claim who you are, then you have no rights to the land. And the land is the power. The land is the real wealth. So the question would have to be, what is your nationality? Who are you? Do you know who you are? Who you stand as lawfully? That's very important. I remember in our last conversation that I was talking with you, the judge will stand up and say, wave a piece of paper. Is this you? Is this you, Miss Wilson? And only if I signed it with my written signature can that judge actually say, yes, that's me. And I would have to say, yes, Your Honor, that is me. Yes, my honor. That piece of paper now represents who I am, and you pretty much can do anything you want to do with it simply because I signed it. And that means I signed the contract. But let's just say that I wasn't ignorant of the law. And let's say I didn't sign that piece of paper. I didn't sign the contract. And the judge says, is this you? Is this you? Are you this person? I can absolutely, clearly tell him, no, that is not me. And he and I can then begin that conversation, because as soon as he asks me, is this piece of paper him? I want to ask him about his oath. State your name for the record, my honor. And I'm addressing the judge at this point. My honor, please state your name for the record. Now, he may have something to say about it. You know, he may have a little attitude problem because he doesn't want me to question him. But I have every natural, unalienable, and inalienable right by the Constitution to ask that judge. He is a public servant, and I have a right, a natural right, to ask him to please state his name, his position for the record, and can you please tell me the date that you took your oath of office? And some of you out there know exactly what I'm talking about, and others out there are saying, what do you mean by oath of office? Every judge, sitting bench judge, he must cross the trestle bar. And that is a, Masonic, that's on a Masonic level. From the Masons, okay? Not the it is the Freemasons, but it's also the original Masons. But I don't want to go down that rabbit hole with you tonight. The rabbit hole I want to talk about is the oath, his oath of office, and your nationality. If you have no nationality, you can claim no lands. And if you cannot claim any land or territories, then you have no jurisdiction over yourself. I have jurisdiction over me. I have jurisdiction over me. Am I that person on the paper, Rochelle Wilson? I absolutely am not. I am not Rochelle Wilson to the judge. To you, all my friends and my family and those people who love and support me, yes. To Jan, I am Rochelle Wilson. To the judge, I am not. I am I am that I am. As God answered to Moses, again, the proverbial story in the Bible when Moses asked God, well, who shall I say sent me? And this burning bush answers and says, I am that I am. There's a lot of power in that. And if you study and you know the law and you read the etymology of words, and you recognize your nationality, who you are as a human being, then you will know what it means to say, I am, and I, to a judge, to a sitting judge. And it is not being disrespectful. When I speak to judges, I am not ever disrespectful. I always present myself as a friend, never as a foe. I always speak to the judge with a voice and a attitude of let us reason together. Let us reason together. Isn't that something also said in the Bible? God allegedly said that to the people in the Bible. I don't remember who he said it to, but he said something. Come, let us reason together. So now, if it's true that the Almighty God of all creation, the Most High, most omnipotent, omnipotent, is willing to have an attitude of come and let us reason together. Let's talk about this. Let's see if we can work something out. If Almighty Divine Creator of all life, the very breath of life, has an attitude that's willing to do that, then certainly, wouldn't it make sense that a sitting bench judge would also? Is he above God, the Almighty Divine Most High Creator? Really? That would be a whole nother conversation in the courtroom, I assure you. You have to understand, people, there's a language that must be used and a tone of voice phonetically that must be presented when you speak to a judge. It's rhythmic, and you and the judge will get in a place when you know how to create this vibrational frequency with the judge by using the right language. You will get into a rhythm where the conversation between you and the judge, it's a flow. And maybe no one else in the courtroom, the room of court, knows what's going on, except maybe obviously the prosecutor, because most prosecutors and attorney generals are studying, they're very familiar with judge protocols and things of that nature. So they may perhaps comprehend what's being said, but it becomes a conversation, a rhythm between you and the judge. and the two of you, or I and I, talking to one another using this language. So now the judge, let's start from the beginning. I'll just go a little bit. Okay. I'm not going to go too far. And this is under the premise that I don't have an arrogant, self-righteous, nasty attitude judge. But let's say I get a judge who comprehends and respects the Constitution of the United States. Let's say I get one of those judges. And now the judge says, Rochelle Wilson, is this you? Did you sign this? Did you put your name? Is this you here on this paper? These are your charges, like your credit card. I'm going to charge you like I would charge your credit card. And I say then to the judge, Your Honor. And that's respectful right there by me saying, Your Honor. Your Honor, my honor. I present to you an amicus curiae. I come that we may reason together because there has been a flagrant miscomprehension. The paper that you ask of me, I have not signed that. I have not participated in that signature. If it is signed, I have signed it only in all caps as a representative for the corporation that is on that paper. Your Honor, my honor. So let us reason together and let us find remedy and recourse. So these are my words, and I skipped over a few pieces. Some things you just have to keep private, but I gave you just a tidbit, just enough of a jewel to wet your whistle. If you take the language that I just used in the same tone of voice, friendly, respectful, I'm approaching you with dignity and honor. Now the judge does not feel as if I am threatening him. He does not feel as if I'm being aggressively attacking him, but rather he sees me and identifies through my words, my language, that I have not come here to fight you. Even though the gold fringes are hanging, I realize that we are at war. I have not come to fight you. I have come to talk to you. I have come to reason with you. The judge must reason with me, and we will then begin that conversation because he will then ask me certain questions, and his questions will have a certain language. And my answers will have a certain language to his questions. And this is how you interact with a sitting bench judge. Now, if you do run across the type of judge that is arrogant, self-centered, demeaning, and does not have respect and honor for the Constitution of the United States, then the conversation might go something a little bit like this. Rochelle Wilson, is this you? Is this you? Your Honor, the paper that you have, I have not signed that. I have not written in my signature, and I have not had any part to do with the signing of that. And if it has been signed, it is signed in all caps. And that is not me. I am not here to present for that paper. The judge may then, if he's that other kind of judge, not so nice judge, all right, an asshole, arrogant, self-centered, and thinks he is above God, then he will begin to say things to me like, all caps, what are you talking about? Look, we don't have time for all of that, and we're not doing that. I asked you a question. You're going to answer the question, or I'm going to have the bailiff have you arrested and taken to the jail downstairs in the courthouse. The house where court is held. You have a house where court is held. You have the rooms where court is held. Those are court rooms, and then the courthouses is the courthouse. But the true court, as I stated to you last week, the true court is the prothonotari's office. If it didn't happen or it gets stamped at the prothonotari's office, it's not real. It didn't exist. Make sure you always get your paperwork stamped at the prothonotari's office. That is imperative anytime you are doing business with the courts. So now, as the judge is saying that he doesn't have time for that, and he just wants me to answer the question, and he doesn't want to be bothered with all of this all caps language and corporation language. He doesn't know what I'm talking about. If he starts talking to me that way, well, I have no choice but then to say, my honor. And the moment I've said my honor, I have identified with the judge, the sitting bench judge, that just as God Almighty made him a judge as a human being, he also made me a judge as a human being. That I too wear the black robe to judge because of my nationality and my right. My right. Don't think you don't have rights. You have rights when you walk into a courtroom. You have rights when you stand into the courtroom. You do not have to just be the victim of whatever is going on in the courtroom. I mean, I guess you will be the victim if you don't have the knowledge, or somebody there that does have the knowledge that represents you. But if you have the knowledge yourself and you are representing yourself, you do not have to be a victim in the courtroom. You can stand on your solid, on the four corners of the earth. You can stand and you can present your argument to the judge, always with respect. The moment you start fighting with the judge, you've automatically lost. You cannot fight with him. That's just ridiculous. You don't do that. But what you do is, it's legal to have an argument. You present your argument to the judge. And I'm saying this, because there are people that instant message me, direct message me, and they have these they would like to have these really long and intense conversations with me about the things that I talk about here. They want to then instant message me and then have those conversations. And that's fine. I don't mind. If I have the time to sit and answer all of those questions on instant message, I will. And if I don't, then I'm making this post and I'm saying this information to all of the listening audience so that I can answer those questions now. When you ask me, what is the proper way to approach a judge, to speak to a judge? Watch my video. Listen to WYVT. Go online to yourvoiceonline.com and listen. I'm giving you the answers. I'm giving you the information. I'm teaching you what I know, that it works. I'm teaching you the law, the true law. Not codes and statutes and ordinances, which are like broken branches off of a tree. I'm giving you the tree. I'm teaching you from the roots. I'm sharing with you information from the roots. And I'm always open to my brothers and sisters who are also iron sharpens iron and who are tuning in and who are studying the knowledge. Help me to share this with the people. Please like and share this video. Get the word out so that everyone knows to start studying and how to speak to a judge. You've lost the very moment you begin to fight him or her. Do not fight the judge. You present yourself peacefully, not at war. The judge already has the gold fringes hanging in the courtroom on the flags. So we know that we're at war. That doesn't mean that we actually have to go knuckle to knuckle and toe to toe. I mean, let's at least start off civilized. Let's begin the dialogue as friends, looking for remedy and recourse. Let us reason together. And then if the judge decides to get up, turn around while he's standing on the bench, he gets up, he turns around, and then he sits back down in his seat. He's just changed jurisdiction on you. Now you're at war. Now you're in admiralty court. It's time to fight. Now you better know the law. You really better. But you also better know, what is the oath of a judge? What does the judge's oath consist of? So if I'm standing there, not as a victim, but as a human being with rights, and I'm saying to the judge, please tell me the date that you signed your oath of office. When did you do that? And in what city? In what county? Not city, but county. The county is that's the real thing. You need to know the jurisdiction. Where did you sign your oath of office? Where did you take your oath of office? That's extremely, very, very much important to know that. And for the judge to be able to confidently relay that information to you, because that's a part of the law and that's a part of the dialogue, because he can't continue to judge my case if he doesn't have jurisdiction over me. He has to have jurisdiction over the case and over the matter. I'm the matter. Now, they play around like whatever's on the paper, this is the matter. Like the matter in the case of Philadelphia against whoever, whatever. The matter of something. No. The human being is the matter. You've ever seen the Energizer Bunny? The Energizer Bunny? I think it's an interesting commercial because it's very elusive, and yet at the same time it's very revealing. We human beings are the greatest source of energy, of human electric energy. You ever touch something and you just get shocked? We are batteries, the greatest batteries on earth. Okay? And if you know that, who you are, and your nationality, and you ask the judge to recite his oath of office and where he had that, where did he take that oath of office and what date, what is the date, the year that he took that oath of office, you are establishing the jurisdiction of the matter. You are the matter. You are the human cell. CELL, the human cell, the battery, the electricity. I don't want to say the wrong word. I want to say electrolytes. I don't think that's the right word, but there's another word for it. But you are that, the electrical current. You know, can somebody out there give me amen? Can I get a heart? Can I get a thumbs up? You know what I'm saying? Like, let me know that you're out there. Let me know that you're listening to me. All my friends and my family on Facebook, share the video, like the video. I'm giving you priceless information of how to actually conduct yourself in a courtroom and what it means. I'm answering your question. You asked me, now I'm giving you the answer. So I'm asking you to send me some likes, give me some thumbs up to let me know that you're listening and that you're receiving this information. So the jurisdiction of who I am has a lot to do with my nationality. And can that judge actually make a ruling, a decision, give a verdict, a ruling, a decision over the subject matter, which is me, and of course the case itself, whatever it might be. Like, does he have the authority to rule in this case? That's the importance of, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Somebody is out there giving me some encouragement. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So, can the judge actually give a decision, a ruling over me, my case, whatever it may be, whether I'm suing Jan for a penny or whether Jan stole a penny from me? Whatever the case may be, all right, does the judge have the authority to rule in that case? If you don't start off the conversation with the judge the right way, but you walk into a courtroom, a room where the court is being held, the stenographer is in there, she's taking notes, and the camera is running. That's the room where the court is being held. And you walk in there and you begin the conversation as a victim. You walk in the courtroom, the room of court, as a victim. The judge is going to identify that immediately, just like a wolf recognizes a deer is prey. Prey. And when a wolf recognizes that the deer is prey, what does the wolf do? Even if he's not hungry, he will attack it. He will mutilate it. He will destroy it. He will kill it. He will kill it. So you cannot walk in the courtroom as a victim of ignorance. You must walk in confident, standing on your 4 points of the earth.
749.
Is it 749? Oh, okay. You must walk in recognizing who you are. I started this conversation off by asking you the simple question, what is your nationality? If you don't have a nationality, then you don't have any land. You don't have any power. You don't have any authority. You don't even have jurisdiction over yourself. And what I've never heard of a nationality called black or I'm African land. Come on, people, let's get real. You can be Italian. You can be Irish, you can be German, you can be Jamaican, you can be Guyanese, you can be Australian. These are all nationalities. African, Nigerian, you can be all of those things. But over here in America, on these lands, right here in America, what nationality are we? We call ourselves Americans. Is that what we are? Is that what you are? You're an American, an Afro-American, a Black American, Native American. Now that I'll contract with. I am Indigenous American, indigenous to these lands. The language matters and who you are matters. How you present yourself to the world really matters. But however you present yourself to the world, that's your presentation, your pre-representation. That's how you want people to think of you, or how you want to be seen by the world is how you're going to present yourself. How you interact with people, says a lot about who you are in the world. I'm very approachable. You can talk to me. I don't care who I am, where I am, what I'm doing, what's going on. As long as you approach me with, love and positive energy, I will give you that in return. If you come at my neck crazy and I become concerned about my, the threat of my well-being, then I'm going to respond that way. It's all relative, but how we present ourselves to the other people, to the world, and to the judge actually matters. It could make the difference as to whether you're coming home or whether you have to go on a prison vacation. It could make the difference. Or whether you have to pay the fine or pay the court or pay the charge. You've been charged. Like your credit card swipe, you're just charged. Why do you think they use that kind of language? They charge your credit card, right? You put your PIN in, you put the little gold piece in or whatever to, you stick it in there and it ching ching, please remove card, all that, it's been charged. When you get a court case, you are charged with this or that or this. Okay? So, just think about the language, people. You got to pay attention. You got to study. You got to know the law. And, if there's anything I can say tonight, which I have 2 more quick announcements. I know we're coming up to the end of time for myself for the show tonight. I want to say, as I always say, you have to study. You have to get down to the etymology of a word. You have to comprehend. Don't stand under it. Always stand over it. If you're standing confident, don't be a victim. Walk in confident. No matter where you go, walk in confident. Be your best self, because that's how you present yourself to the world, and people, that's how they're going to, that's their thought of who you are, and if you change it or do something later, differently, let me say it like this. If I meet you and you're just like the cream of the crop with like strawberries on top and you're the best, the best thing going, I still don't know you. Bruce Lee said, you never know someone until you fight them. You never know someone until you fight them. Because then you get to learn, like, how dirty will they be? How low are they willing to go in order to win, right? But at the same time, if you present yourself as the kind of person who is loving and you are kind and you are generous and you are giving and you want to be helpful, then that's what people expect of you. I mean, you're allowed to have a bad day. Sure, people can have a bad day, and that's totally acceptable. All right. But if you just flip the script from being this wonderfully warm and loving and, embracing human being to being someone who's cold and shanty and, abrasive and aggressive unnecessarily, then that can leave a pretty bad taste in people's mouths as well. So how you present yourself to the court, how you present yourself to the world is extremely, extremely important. I've been very honest. I've told you who I am. I'm a spitfire. I have a heart that is so sincere and I love to pieces, and I'm so genuine and so empathetic. I think the best word that I could use, I can easily get bamboozled because I can be friends with anybody and I'm willing to be friends. So people come to me, I'm like, oh, you want to be friends? I can be friends too. But now at age 56 and soon, God willing, if I make it to April, I'll be 57 years old. I've learned a few things about how far to take that and how far to trust, folks in their presentations. How you present yourself to me, and then of course how much of me I give to you, because I'm still learning if it's safe to trust you. But I want to take a moment out to say that for those of you who truly have gotten to know me, those of you who have truly stood with me in support since the beginning of this movement, I say 3 years, but it's not quite 3 years. It's more like 2 years and 9 months or something like that I've been in this movement. A couple of times I've had to reach out and say, hey, can folks, show me some financial support? Can you donate to my Cash App, or can you donate to the movement? It's always for the movement. It's never for personal selfish gain. It's always to keep the movement moving. Okay. And so there's some things that are going on now that I'm trying to work on in order to achieve the next level for the movement. But, everything nowadays in life, it just costs money. It just costs money. I mean, I cannot make it to my next speaking engagement. All right. Which is, to be over at St. Sienna's Catherine's Church on March 19th. I will not be here on Thursday, March 19th, because I will be broadcasting live from there, where I am the keynote speaker, and I will be doing my presentation to the people, as long as it's not canceled. That is it will be a large public gathering. And if that is not canceled and we continue to move forward, then I will be there on March 19th. And I'll probably have my gloves on, and hand sanitizer, my gloves on by that point. But, it takes gas to get from here to over there. And the next appointment, speaking engagement, will then be on that Saturday, March 21st. I will be in Sussex County with Heather for Pete Walusik and the wrongfully incarcerated people in America. How does that happen? And what is the judge's accountability to that? I will have information and statistical data to share at that event. So, I'm very excited about it. But it takes gas to get to these places. You got to pay tolls, car insurance, the car note, all kinds of things. And don't get me twisted, folks. I don't ask for money. I don't beg and plead with people for money. I get out here, I take care of seniors. I get my little side hustle on with Uber and Lyft, until I find the perfect job that's right for me. And that, I'm a great fit for, I'm just doing my little side hustle. but it's probably not like a steady every 2-week paycheck. You know, I take care of seniors. I clean houses. I cook meals. I Uber and I Lyft. I work with city council, folks that need a Lyft, a ride here or there, different things. Whatever I can do to earn money to be self-sustaining is what I do. But there are times when I have to ask the people, if you believe in this movement, if you believe that what I'm doing is worthy, that this is indeed a good cause, and that I am being impactful, and that my heart is in the right place, then yes, I have to ask, please put your money where your support is. Put your money where your support is, and every bit of donation counts. And I would ask you to please donate to the Make Some Intelligent Noise Fund. You know, my Cash App is there. It's on my Facebook page. You can always get to it. Or if you don't trust that, or you're just an older person, you don't know anything about a Cash App, which is the easiest, simplest way to transfer money nowadays. But if you don't know anything about that, that's fine. You can just go through Facebook, and Facebook will see to it that it is eventually deposited into my account. And I will then be able to take care of some things that have to be cared for in order for me to continue this movement. So, but for those people that do love me, and that do care for me, and I'm so much on the borderline. I want to say your names, but I think I probably shouldn't say your name. There's one name I'm going to say, because I know it's all right. The others, I won't say their names. Thank you to each and every person who reached out and made a donation to the MSIN, Make Some Intelligent Noise Emergency Fund. I thank you. I appreciate you. God bless you. I love you. Thank you for hearing my cry for help and for responding. For the people that have not yet responded, I trust that you know that this is a real movement and that I need your help. So please show your support and make a donation. Every little bit counts. Every little bit helps. And the one person I will say, my man, my Florida man, my hemp brother, you know who you are. I love you. You have supported me since the very beginning. Thank you, JL. I don't know any other way to say it than I appreciate you, and I thank you so very, very much. This is Rochelle Wilson for Make Some Intelligent Noise here at WYVT every Thursday at 7 o'clock. From 7 until 8, I am your hostess, and we talk about criminal justice and prison reform. Tonight, I gave you jewels. If you were listening and paying attention, if you have your Black's Law Dictionary in front of you, you can Google. You can always look up and just find out. Just start doing the research on the words that I gave you tonight in the language that I used, nationality, the judge, how to speak to the judge. You know, I gave you a lot of jewels tonight, and I hope you find them valuable and worthy. All right, Jan?
Yes.
What time is it?
8:02.
It's 8:02, so I'm on good time, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks, thank you so much. I love you, my Facebook family and friends. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to end with saying this to my cousin Robin and cousin Melody in Chicago. I hope you're watching. I was cleaning out one of my old drawers in the house, and I found a picture of us when we were at the old house in Florida with our parents. We were like 15 and 16 years old. I found the picture. I'm going to post it on Facebook. It is absolutely hilarious. And so I hope you guys get a kick out of it as much as I did when I found that old photo. Me and my cousins at age 15 and 16 years old singing Ebony and Ivory. So I'll leave you with that, folks. I love you. Protect yourself. Drink lots of water. Make sure you get your vitamin C in you, and easy on the public events. All right, folks? God bless you. Stay wonderful. I'm Rochelle Wilson for Make Some Intelligent Noise here at WYVT. Until next time, God bless you. Talk soon.